Yes, let's start right there before we even get into the maps, and we'll talk about what those changes have been today. First of all, here's some good news. The high wind warning was canceled, but wind advisories are still in effect, which means we still have gusty winds and dangerous red flag conditions. The PDS red flag warning, which we talked a lot about, that stands for particularly dangerous situation. This is reserved for the most extreme events. That was delayed and pushed back, but still in effect for tomorrow for mainly areas north of the LA basin. We'll outline that for you in a moment. And the red flag warning for most areas ends at the end of the day tomorrow at 6 p.m., but it does extend into Thursday for some places like the Santa Susana Mountains and the San Gabriel Mountains, or at least the western part of the San Gabriel Mountains as well. A look at the current wind gusts. This has been pretty interesting today at how different it's been depending on where exactly you live. Notice all the single-digit wind gusts around a lot of the LA basin, basically calm winds there. But we look east, we do see some higher gusts, especially as you get into higher elevations. There's some 40s on the map. Looks like there's a 52 not far from Fontana, and then you get up into the San Gabriel Mountains and you can see a cluster of gusts in the 20s, 30s, and some 40s as well. And same thing all the way over towards Malibu through the Santa Monica Mountains. We've got a gust at 42 as well. And so that's why there was that concern coming into today. We knew there was going to be this strip of gusty winds, especially north of LA, and that's where we have a wind advisory. It's just not quite as intense as it was looking like it could have been. So wind advisory instead of high wind warning. That's in effect until 3 p.m. tomorrow. It is extended a little bit later until 6 p.m. for areas more so east, like Orange County, up into Riverside County, San Bernardino County as well. Here's that wide sweeping red flag warning, again, in effect for most areas through the end of the day tomorrow. There is that little portion I talked about earlier up north where it's actually in effect until 3 p.m. Thursday, but Thursday is actually looking much better to me. But tomorrow there's that concern now, and again, it's that same area north we've been talking about for the PDS red flag warning. That area hasn't changed, just the time frame has changed. Now that PDS part is in effect for 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow up there to the north. Future wind gusts will show that this is mainly where the strongest winds will be. Yes, there's going to be some other pockets. And by the way, now we're looking at midnight tonight. Not that bad region-wide, but there will be some areas and some stretches where it's going to be windy. And we see the wind speeds likely coming up on Wednesday. We're not seeing the incredible numbers like we had on the map last week, but it will be windy, especially right through here. And part of why a lot of the LA basin is protected this time around is we have more of an easterly component to these Santa Ana winds, where there's more of a northerly component last week. And so that blasted the winds through more of the LA basin, let's say. This time around, it's more so confined up through here. And yes, there will be some winds kind of sneaking through the Cajon Pass and making their way down right there as well. But again, purple shows where gusts could be 35 or above. Now, as we go into the end of the day Wednesday, we are seeing progress and improvement and lower wind speeds. And while there is that little portion up to the north with the red flag warnings extending into Thursday, we do see region-wide overall some good news here for Thursday. You can see the onshore winds making a return, humidity going up at the end of this week. We can put this Santa Ana wind event behind us once we get into Thursday for, I'd say, about 90% of the area. That's going to be the case.